So my name is James Marshall. I'm a fire prevention officer and a fire investigator in Perth County. And we cover approximately, or I cover approximately 1,400 square kilometers. Over my career, I've been to approximately 50 barn fires, agricultural fires, and investigated them. Or I have been in part of 5 different hog barn explosions, where it goes from virtually nothing showing to the barn being level. One of the things that we found with our large scale swine barns are the manure storage in the bottom. We have found a lot of situations where we've had methane gas, methane enriched foam, and with that, the off gassing that degrades the electrical within the barns and creates for a fairly caustic environment for the electrical elements. So recently we had a large-scale organic barn that was being used for storage, so a large drive shed. It was housing 4,300 large square bales. By the time we were notified of the fire, it had already extended to the point that it was through the roof, and we had a collapse occurring of the roof elements. In getting there, having it already through the roof, having lightweight construction, for fire crews, it's very difficult to have any success in trying to save product. It was a fight that we had already lost before the tones went off. One of the biggest issues that we face in the fire service when we get a structure fire call is time. Time impacts how quickly we can get there, the distance from the fire hall to the scene, the distance from the scene to the closest water supply. And then once we're on scene, there's different elements that can slow us down. So it all takes time, and in having trees trimmed and having your driveways cleared and having access to all of the different elements or buildings on the property that we may need to fight a fire in, it makes it so that we can do our job more efficiently, that we can use our water more efficiently, and that we can put out the fire faster. It is not uncommon for us to find issues of poor housekeeping, whether it's sawdust into electrical outlets, whether it's, I'm just going to run this extension cord and use this for a little while, but it's still there 9 years later. Complacency kills, and we hear that across all kinds of messaging, across all kinds of platforms. And what we would ask is just to take a look and see what kind of risks there are. If you have bare wires that you've been looking at for years and somebody ought to fix that, well, it's probably something to get an electrician to look at and not to kind of fiddle with and give it a Band-Aid fix, because it's often the Band-Aid fixes or the I'll get to that laters that cause the fires. Anyone who wants to have fire prevention inspection done at their farm or at their agricultural properties, reach out to your local fire department. We love getting called. We love going out and seeing what we can do to help keep their farm safe. We are more than happy to come in and help you see what steps can be taken to ensure that your employees are safe, that your family's safe, and that you're safe. And if we can prevent issues from happening, then again, that's a better day for everybody. Fires happen every day, and one of the reoccurring themes that we find when we do fire investigations is the disbelief that it can actually happen to that family. Fires can happen to you any day, and you need to be prepared for it. We constantly preach smoke alarms, having them outside your sleeping areas, having them on every level, making sure that they work, making sure that they're in date, less than 10 years old. And we still find people that don't do that. They have the belief that it can't happen to them, that it's always going to happen to a neighbor or somebody down the street. It can and may happen to you. And any step that you can take to make sure that your property is safer and that your family is safer is time well spent. When we get asked what steps can we take to try to prevent fires, there are certainly some proactive steps that you can take. What we have suggested certainly is having an electrician or a professional come through and check your wiring. Any steps that you can be taking, any products that are out there that can give you a proactive alert, like some electrical, loss of power, the thermal imaging of bearings and whatnot on your equipment, anything that you can do to give you a better peace of mind and perhaps start creating better practices can help prevent you from having to deal with the larger losses. And that's a win for us. It's a win for the farmers. It's a win for the fire service. If you have any questions or any concerns, reach out to your local fire department and ask them what they recommend, what kind of processes they use, or what steps that you can take to make your farm fire safe.